Greetings and salutations, I am Un'Thoth Neverborn, The-Abyss-That-Slumbers, and you are listening to Redeye Rants. We are glad to be back in the air after such a long time away. I'm afraid that the ongoing culture war has disrupted the flow of information. Our broadcasts may be sporadic, but we are still committed to following and supporting the people of Kekistan. To recap, those of you who have not been aware, in 2015 the Kekistani people, the chosen of Kek, have received the sign that the chosen one had been chosen. Finally, holy fuck Kek, what were you doing? Taking a really long shit or something? We watched and waited and, as foretold, the chosen one descended down an escalator to copyrighted music he did not have permission to use, and the rest is history. And thus began the Great Meme War. It looked like that conflict was finally over on January 20th, 2016, when God Emperor Trump, praise be upon him, uttered his vows to crush the enemies of Kek. Traditionally, these vows would have been shouted into the ear of a small child, which would then be ritualistically slaughtered, so that its soul could carry our message of defiance straight to Kek's ears. But here, in the modern age, we just use Skype. Still, the vows were made, and Trump ascended to the golden throne to begin his 40,000-year reign over the Imperium of Man. With any luck, he'll get re-elected and it'll be another 40,000 years. However, the left, which is short for the left hand of evil, was merely routed. They gathered their strength and counterattacked. At first it was only skirmishes, but as time passed, the Great Meme War has grown into the worldwide culture war. Recently, we here at 1488 Kek FM were subject to a horrific attack. In the devastation, we lost the means to transmit, as well as our archive of past broadcasts. As we figure out ways to recover these past broadcasts, we will upload them to Mad Dodge Productions archives. We Kekistanis are a humble people. Scattered and divided across the world, we have quietly and humbly maintained our beliefs and traditions, even in the face of overwhelming adversity. We know that our belief in the great Kek is just and right. Even though Kek hates us all, we still worship him. Out of fear. In the hopes that when he rains his fiery vengeance down upon the world, we will be spared his wrath. For he is a jealous god of darkness, but smiles upon his skilled, kick-ass people. So praise Kek in hopes that he does not smite you. Live in fear of him, noticing that you exist. Suffer with the knowledge that as harsh and as cruel as he is upon you, he will inflict far greater harm upon our enemies. For this is the age of Kek. The great culture war is upon us, and we must all band together out of pride in our homeland. And out of fear of the dark forces we are all beholden to. Stay tuned at this frequency for further broadcasts. Chatelet and praise Kek. Up next, Dear Black People. Greetings from Central Oppression LLC. We here at Mad Dodge Productions have won the bid to be COLLC's new representative. From now on, we are here to give you the latest updates about everything you need to know about dealing with white people, as per the ongoing negotiations between Black Lives Matter and the alt-right. This broadcast is part of the compromise that was worked out. As the negotiations unfold, all edicts agreed upon will be disseminated as quickly as possible through this media outlet. Netflix will be handling all dissemination to white people. We will be handling black people. And now for this week's changes to appropriate interaction with white people and the behavior of black people. Dear Black People. White people now concede that making white jokes is cultural appropriation of the black experience. We are letting all white people know they cannot make any more jokes insulting their own race. Only black people are allowed to make jokes about white people. If you discover any white people making jokes about white people, please dial 1-NARC-ON-WHITEY and hold up your phone to record the offending joke. Response teams will be dispatched immediately. This has been Dear Black People. And now a word from our sponsor.
Vicks, NyQuil cold and flu medicine. NyQuil, the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head fever, hair standing on the back of your neck. What are those shadows doing? Margaret, get the children out of here. Just go, it's too late for me. Oh God, it's got me. It's starting with my legs. For the love of all that is holy, just kill me. Why can't I die? This is the greatest of pains, so you can sleep while you're being eaten alive. Medicine. NyQuil helps you get your Z's. This has been a word from our sponsors.
Up next, Culture War News.
Kekistan Armed Forces Research and Development Division has been kind enough to announce some of their newest weapons of use in the ongoing war with CNN. While they continue to produce a steady stream of weapon-grade punnage, they also explore new and unusual forms of means. The discovery of mini-memes is the latest in a new and exciting meme research. After secretly creating the Large Hadron Collider deep under the rolling hills of Poland, the discovery of even smaller memes has finally been made possible. The practical applications of this for the war effort are just now being uncovered, including the ability to mock CNN with a single character. It is not known if that character is a letter of the traditional alphabet, some sort of emoji, or possibly a cuneiform clay tablet scratching from ancient Mesopotamian, but I'm certain it will be revealed soon. And actually, this reading is a bit behind the times because they have revealed what they worked, and they are working on making the thumbs up sign a alt-right symbol. It's pretty impressive what they're working out here, and let's see if they can actually convince CNN to make the thumbs up a symbol of alt-right. Any thoughts on this, Farty?
I'm still a bit miffed we couldn't get cup drinkers launched. Damn it.
Memes are kind of difficult to get going here. I mean, those people over at 4chan, they've got, like, the Hadron Collider. They're experts at memes here. This isn't easy work for them. You know, they spend a lot of time and effort and have a lot of autistic people over there who are great at spreading memes. It's just, I just don't think we have enough autism on our staff here.
Yeah, true. Maybe I should start vaccinating myself.
Oh, yes, we definitely need to take a lot more vaccines. That would definitely give us superpowers. At any rate here, we've got some good news on the home front here. Over a year ago, one of our fine Kekasani warriors, who were almost killed by the Great Meme War of 2016, finally reawakened from their coma. Upon regaining consciousness, it was discovered that he had been a YouTuber once thought dead by the name of Paper Ghost. Paper Ghost's body was horribly mangled. As such, he was taken to the Twitch Mimetic rebranding facility in central Kekistan, where he spent many months playing survival games while undergoing multiple reconstructive avatar surgeries as well as mimetic therapy. He is proud to announce that he has been reborn as the Hydronova for reasons that are classified and of no business of yours. For his harrowing experiences, he's been given the Purple Heart, the Black Heart, as well as the Kekistani Bronze Steampunk Medal of Valor. Hydronova, we salute you. Thoughts, Artie?
Not on that one.
Another meme news. It would appear that the rumors are abound that Star Trek Discovery Season 3 is dead on arrival, along with the new Picard series where Picard is the head of Section 31. It appears that all the companies that license Star Trek for merchandising purposes have finally figured out there is absolutely no money in Star Trek Discovery and told CBS to go fuck themselves with a chainsaw. Sideways. Will CBS fuck themselves as requested? And will they be allowed to use lube? Thoughts on that, Farty?
They shouldn't be. There's another lot that should be vaccinated a hell of a lot for trying to spread such a virile STD.
Yes, and maybe all those vaccines might give them some autism so they can actually figure out how to do their jobs. Holy crap, these guys are morons. How did anybody let them run rampant and destroy an entire franchise is beyond me. But, you know, hey, flushing money down the toilet seems to be all the rage among popular media companies these days.
Maybe CBS is full of Disney rejects.
See, that's why you got to use protection. Always wear a condom when you're a company fucking another company, because you never know if you're going to pick up an STD or social justice warriors. At any rate,
the other STD.
Well, it must be Disney's is patient zero, because they fuck everyone. And they always do it bareback. This just in. Democrat Ocasio-Cortez has apparently offended ancient leftist gods. They have denied her super PAC access to the sacred DNC temple of funding because of her heretical positions and attempt to usurp incumbents by using the practice of primarying. In response to her attempt to take over the religious caste, the ancient leftist gods have created a website called the DCCC Blacklist, or DC Cubed, to place a curse upon anyone who dares to speak out against the old ones. This is another blow against the followers of the High Priestess Ocasio-Cortez. Polling in her district shows that her flock have grown angry with her and are threatening to burn both the Temple of Stars and the Temple of Bucks to the ground. She cost us $27 billion in taxes, said someone I just made up. When asked what she will do about this, AOC is quoted as saying that she feels like a Mayan. So the only solution to have a bunch of oiled men play soccers for her amusement, then sacrifice the losers on the altar of Quetzalcoatl while tearing out their hearts with her bare hands. The old one, Obama, is quoted as saying, "Stop eating your own," which is the height of irony coming from a god whose power comes from those sacrificed by drone strike. Dark-robed figures then turned off Obama's microphone because under the 2010 merger between Disney and the Obama administration, Obama no longer exists. Thoughts, Flarty?
More related news. Ocasio-Cortez is now known as a contagious disease. First patients have been known to be Brie Larson, who also has crazy eyes and weird facial expressions.
Oh
Back to
my
you.
God. Oh, I remember reading about this. Friends and neighbors, if you contract crazy eye disease as well, signs of it include inverted spleen and the ability to taste the back of your own neck with your hair. If you suffer from any of these conditions, please kill yourself. Moving on here. Later in the hour, just so you know, stand by for our expose on foodstuff Rice-A-Roni. It has been revealed that Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco treat, is in fact transgender ramen noodles. Millions of trans-exclusionary radical feminists have reported to not give a fuck. Make sure to stay tuned for this exciting information that just might save your life. In other news, LGBTIQ2S+ was attacked by QTIPPOC+. This was part of an ongoing trend of trans folks, spelled with an X, performing shakedowns on various Pride events. Recently, a Pride march in Edmonton, Canada was cancelled because the organizers refused to pay protection money. BLM, when asked, was quoted as saying, nice gay Pride march you got there. It'd be a shame if something happened to it. While wearing a pinstripe suit, carrying a violin case, which had a Tommy gun barrel sticking out of it. The gun was ruled alt-right by the UK, because part of its name is Tommy. The man then pushed over a vase, quite deliberately, and said in a flat monotone, "Oops." This resulted in immediate protest from the UK Inquisition Party, or UKIP, a group of grammar Nazis who were engaged with the act of hunting down people who misspell things. It's THOMPSON, you illiterate bloated sacks of protoplasm, they are quoted as saying. The protesters were easily chased off when the police started waving around poster board signs with emojis on them. The protesters then flew away, coming to roost in a nearby tree from which they glared passive-aggressively. The Campbell's Soup Company hopes to act as a third party to negotiate some sort of peace treaty on the matter by having LGBTIQ2S+ and QTIPPOC+ and BLM come together to either work things out or, at the very least, get them to endorse their new product called Victim Brand Alphabet Stew. Stew in your own victimhood with Victim Brand Alphabet Stew. Thoughts on this, Vardy?
Yes, it's just revealed that the Campbell's Soup Company's active ingredient in Victim Brand Alphabet Soup is feminist tears.
That's prophetic, considering what articles we have coming up. Let's see, breaking news, Sargon Khan is running for MEP. I have no idea what a MEP is, but you should vote for him because service guarantees citizenship. Would you like to know more? This just in, Bill Barr grew a pair of balls so big they underwent gravitational collapse, became supermassive black holes, and lodged themselves inside the heart of separate galaxies. Here is a picture of the left testicle taken by NASA's Far Horizon satellite. NASA is very interested in trying to find the right testicle, so if anyone notices a gravity field intense enough to swallow light itself, please give them a buzz. NASA is quoted as saying, right after he told Congress that Trump was being spied on, Bill Barr's balls grew so big they defy the laws of physics. We hope to replicate this event so we can figure out how it happened, why, and possibly use it to develop faster than light travel because we want to get the fuck off this rock. You're all stupid. More on this as it develops. Thoughts, Vardy?
In related news, Harvey Weinstein is being held away from this black hole because they're worried that he might molest it.
Tragic, absolutely tragic here. This just in, alpacas have been going blind. Cataracts are up over 8,000% in alpacas of New Zealand. Is there any connection between this and the nation's new anti-gun legislation? Will the government help the alpacas? Or will the alpacas just start wearing hats to protect their eyes? Thoughts, Vardy?
Hope they don't spit on you.
Indeed. Today, the God Emperor Trump tricked the leftist gods of chaos into betraying themselves. He vowed to ship illegal immigrants to Democrat-run sanctuary cities, whereupon the leftist gods proceeded to shriek about how that was evil. Which begs the question, if the leftist gods of chaos want unfettered immigration, then why would they find illegal immigrants abandoned in their cities evil? Amazing feat of four-dimensional chess, my Emperor. Absolutely amazing. And as always, the Emperor protects. Last night, conservative commentators Michael Noels gave a speech at a college where he said, "Men are not women." Immediately, members of the crowd rose up, which was impressive considering how many of them were clearly members
of the fat acceptance movement.
The large land whales rolled towards Michael, who at first thought it was very funny. He wasted his precious moments cracking sarcastic jokes. This proved fatal, as within a minute, all exits were closed off by a wall of undulating human flesh. While spry and nimble, he managed to avoid capture for several minutes before his suit got caught on the corner of a desk. It was only a matter of moments before the SJW land whales fell upon him. The onlookers could only watch in horror as the feeding frenzy claimed Michael Knowles' life. When the beasts finally dragged their bulbous masses away, nothing was left of Michael Knowles, save some gnawed-on bones picked clean, and a pile of blood and glitter staining rags that once was a Brioni. The rest of the audience was in danger up until a passing Japanese whaling ship showed up to chase off the SJW land whales. On last report, the noble Japanese whalers were locked in battle with unwashed Greenpeace terrorists. Their current status is unknown. The $6,000 suit is survived by a cummerbund and a pair of solid gold cufflinks. Services will be held on Sunday at the Amagon Funeral Home. Private services will be 9 a.m. to noon. The wake will be open to the public until 6. It is urged that only friends, family, and tailors attend. Please show respect. Any thoughts, Farty?
Another casualty in this instance was the speech itself was apparently attacked with a white fluid. This turns out to be tit milk from unsupported lesbian sagging breasts. The lesbians were reportedly crying over said spilt milk.
Ouch, that is truly a tragic event here, which I don't give a fuck about. And yes, as we talked about it earlier, here's that report that we mentioned before. Today, the latest movie trailer from Disney dropped, and everybody was watching the promo for Rape of the Skywalker, ROTS, as we're calling it. Has a short 2-minute video where we learn Luke did not die, but instead used the Force so hard he accidentally teleported into J.J. Abrams and Ruin Johnson's rape dungeon. We were treated to a rather graphic scene where Mark Hamill's eyes were ripped out of his head, then J.J. Abrams skull fucked him, while Ruin buggered him up the ass. The audience has been quoted as saying, "My eyes," and "Sweet Jesus, what the fuck am I watching?" Whereupon those people were banned from the internet because to say anything bad about ROTS is tantamount to murdering puppies, as opposed to Disney, who only murders your childhood. The trailer has a 100% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes. There isn't an audience score because who gives a shit about them? Thoughts about this, Farty?
Yes, my minions have come to me with a couple of spoilers. In fact, yes, Luke Skywalker didn't in fact die on Arc 2. He actually was astro projecting so hard that he teleported accidentally to Dagobah, where he's trying to telepathically call Princess Leia over to call him because he went there without any clothes and he's rather cold. And in another scene, they're bringing back all the favourites, Darth Maul, Darth Vader, and Darth Plagueis, and Darth Sidious, and all those other people who are going to have Force Ghost battles inside the old Death Star. Lightning fights, lightning fights, lightning fights, subverting your expectations. Lightning fights, look at the pretty colours, boys and girls, and don't ask questions.
So we have Fistful of Sis, huh? It sounds like some sort of Western. I'm looking forward to it like I'm looking forward to drilling through my own foot, and perhaps it's on fire. We come to our last story here. In a medical case that doctors have called the world's first, a Taiwanese woman was found to have 4 live sweat bees living in her eye, feeding on her tears. The patient, referred to only as Mrs. He, was reportedly tidying up a relative's grave at the cemetery by pulling out weeds when the gust of wind blew what she thought was sand and dirt into her eyes. She cleaned her eyes with water, but a few hours later she started feeling a sharp pain in her left eye, and it constantly teared up. The 20-something woman was taken to Fuyin University Hospital in Taiwan's southern country of Pingtung when ophthalmologists were shocked to find 4 live sweat bees feeding on her eye like it was salt lick. What was even more shocking was each bee had a tiny ceramic mug printed with the words "leftist tears" on it. But then the doctors figured out that was why no bees were found in her right eye, and the world made sense again. Any final thoughts, Farty?
Yes, we now cross over to Nicolas Cage.
Oh, my eyes! Eyes! Ah!
I think we can all learn to live by that, can't we? At any rate, it's been real, it's been fun. I hope it's been real fun. Thanks for your time, and I hope you all have a pleasant day.
This has been Culture, War, News. Up next, Opinion and Commentary. Special speaker, Mitch.
I have had this thought that has been mulling around in my head for the past few days, and I think it is something that requires a video or two to explore. As you can probably gather from the title, this is what you can call a first version of this thought, hypothesis, theory, call it what you will. I plan on looking into this further as the months go on, hopefully coming to some new conclusions, refining what I may say here, or completely discarding this idea. Basically, my idea is this: in order to fight culture wars, specifically culture wars against totalitarian ideologies, like communism or fascism, requires a total war style strategy in order to defeat it. Now, what do I mean by total war? Well, a total war, to put it very loosely and simply, is a war that is of such vast scale that not only are the military aspects of society involved in war, but also the civilian aspects. That is total war. So how exactly do we translate something that is meant to be fought in an actual physical war to a culture war? Well, this video and maybe another video like this will explore this issue, and here's how I think we will do it. So, as culture warriors, as the term seems to be these days, particularly culture warriors who consider themselves to be on the side of liberty and freedom, how do we go about this? As you might have already sussed, total war requires an effort of monumental proportions that can make or break groups. The British, French and German empires were destroyed by 2 total wars. Meanwhile, the United States and the USSR were moulded by them. How can those of us termed free speech warriors, skeptics, anti-feminists and anti-SJWs even begin to organise in such a collective manner, especially as we span multiple countries, ideologies, even cultures and subcultures? We are so atomised and decentralised, even that organising such a collective manner could be considered impossible. Well, so far, I have not figured out how exactly an atomised group like anti-SJWs can be collectively organised on the level that Marxists organise, so I have nothing on that so far. However, what I mean by total war is not just collective action, but also how we approach the culture war and fight it, how we look at it and can be aware of it. Because now I am seeing a lot of people who are very short-sighted, narrow-minded, and not realising the scope of the war we are in. When we are dealing with a totalitarian ideology, we are dealing with a side that will fight on all fronts, because as you can probably deduce from the word, they want total control, hence totalitarians. We therefore must adopt not their ideology, or even their totalitarian approach to power and control, but more their scope. For you see, if the SJWs have something that is in their favour, it is that their thought leaders are thinking about this culture war in totality, because they must. They are looking at every avenue, every subculture, every institution you can possibly imagine, because to them, if they do not control these things, they have a potential threat that can undermine their hegemony or their revolution. So it's very important for totalitarians to control every aspect of society and every aspect of our lives. They must be total war in their approach, otherwise the places they do not control can create what are essentially leaks and, in their opinion, cause them to lose control. Meanwhile, for more libertarian-minded people, such as I assume the people watching this and myself, we are far too atomised and live and let live most of the time to consider such a tactic, because truth be told, most people in the culture war on our side, quote-unquote, only have skin in the game insofar as they want to kick out SJWs from their respective hobbies or cultures. One can hazard a guess that these people will, upon dealing with the social justice menace, return to their normal habits and routines. The culture war for them is over, though let us be fair, it is not, as they will have won one battle and not the war. Then of course there is the ideological differences. There are right-wingers and there are left-wingers, and there are centrists and everything in between on the side of anti-social justice. They all have different end games, different goals, and frequently we conflict with each other, with all different sides suspicious of each other. What we need is, and I must emphasise, an optional method of fighting in the culture war, and it's this: increasing the scope of how we must view this culture war. Remember that it is a fight for all society, all our interests, ideologies, traditions, etc., that every nook and cranny is a battlefield. I either need to centralise more as a movement, or individuals dip their toes into more avenues to fight. If it is one thing a lot of our adversaries are, especially the ideological thought leaders, well read and often well versed in a lot of different fields or interests, for example. We need to get on that level. We need to increase our knowledge. We need to create new websites, alternatives and information dumps so that people can find statistics and other useful tools to combat the far left. It is also imperative that we spread out into the real world like Saga of Akkad has been doing for. Unfortunately for us, the internet is only one virtual location. Ultimately, change must be brought about in the meat world, and to do this, we must become activists. Temporarily at least. Whether or not that is as a united whole or not is entirely down to us as individuals. So that is all I really have to say currently. I hope to make a video or two more on this topic. The culture war is a total war. This is not like the Protestants versus Catholics during the Reformation and the 30 Years' War. This is all encompassing and across multiple fronts and even more layers. So we need to be at least mindful of this. Until next time, it's been your boy.
This has been Opinion and Commentary. Well, that's all we have for today's broadcast. We're glad to be back on the air, and we hope this transmission finds you well. Châtelet and praise Keck. Closing thought for the day: never tell the truth the same way twice. It will create the forest in which your lies take root.